guys. Today we're going to talk about 4 ways to think about doing something risky in your career. So, we as a society have labeled some career paths as risky and other career paths as stable. So, things like doctor, lawyer, banker, consultant, software engineer, all of those are considered very stable. And things like being a startup founder, being a musician, being an influencer, being a novelist, being a freelancer, all of those are considered risky. And it's true that the stable jobs often involve working for a corporation and getting a steady paycheck. And the risky jobs tend to be more independent and self driven. You're creating something and you're selling it directly to the end user or to some kind of major distributor who then gives it to the end user. And you're doing it kind of on a piecemeal, project by project basis. There's so many people that are intrigued by the jobs in the so-called risky category. They would love to be independent, they want creative freedom and to be their own boss, they're tired of navigating office politics, and they don't want to shave down their vision to fit corporate priorities anymore. But leaving their job and doing their own thing seems so insanely risky that they shut down the possibility almost immediately. Now, I'm not saying that you should quit your job and launch your own venture tomorrow, but let me give you a better way to evaluate these so-called risky paths. Way number 1, decompose the failure statistic. Risky pathways always seem to have these massive failure statistics attached to them. Things like 99% of startups fail, and 95% of coaches never replace their salaries with coaching revenue, and 98% of novelists never make a living from their writing. I don't know if those are the precise statistics, but you get what I mean. Now, these aggregated numbers obscure the true story. Yes, the vast majority of people who try this fail. But why? What is causing them to fail? And do those same causal factors apply to you? For example, if 98% of novelists never make a living from their writing, but 80% of that failure group is people who only work on their novel for a couple hours a week and spend more time procrastinating than writing, then what are your chances of success if you dedicate your full time, attention, and discipline to getting a novel published? Or if 99% of startups fail, but 60% of that failure group is companies that pivot too slowly and fail to find product market fit before their money runs out. If that's what causes failure for 60% of them, what are your chances of success if you stay nimble, pivot fast, and do things as cheaply as possible until product market fit is established? Don't be scared away by the aggregate failure number. Take the time to understand what actually causes success and failure on your risky path. And then understand which of those success and failure factors apply to you. And then decide what the true chances of success. Every endeavor has success factors that are specific to that space. So dig in and figure out what they are for your thing. And let me give you a starting point for some of the success factors that I think are probably common across a lot of areas. Number 1, discipline and hard work. Number 2, giving sufficient time and focus to the endeavor. Number 3, having some kind of relevant experience that means you're not starting from zero. Number 4, enjoying the process. Number 5, connections, by which I mean the people that you need to sell to, people like customers, clients, VCs, publishers, whoever it is, those people are reachable within a few degrees of your LinkedIn network or your social network. Notice that I didn't say that they're all your best friends and you feel 100% plugged in. It's just that you can ping someone who can ping someone and get an intro call. And number 6, financial runway to fail until you figure it out. So whether you're founding a startup or becoming a fashion influencer or writing a screenplay, if you're a hardworking person who knows how to tackle a project with real discipline and commitment, or if you can give the project consistent time and focus over a long period of time, or if you have some kind of experience or perspective that means you're not a total beginner, or if you enjoy doing the activities that are required to make this thing a success for their own sake, or if the people you need to reach are a few emails or LinkedIn connections away, or if you're doing this on the side while you work, or you can tide yourself over with savings for some time while you give this a try. If you fulfill even a few of the items on that list, you've already raised your chances of success astronomically. Way number 2 to think about doing something risky in your career. Think in terms of possibility, not probability. Here are some facts about the coaching industry. There are thousands and thousands of coaches that make very little money in their businesses. And there's a very small number of coaches that make over $1 million a year in their business. But what do these facts mean? If you think in terms of probability, this means there's a very low chance of creating a multi-million-dollar coaching business. I shouldn't even try. Why waste my time when the chance of success is so low? But if you think in terms of possibility, this means it's possible to create a multi-million-dollar coaching business. These coaches are a proof of concept. They are a concrete demonstration that, first of all, despite the existence of therapy and Headspace and yoga and thousands of self-help books, there is still unmet demand in the market for solutions that help people solve life problems. It's also a concrete demonstration that the product of coaching is an effective solution to those life problems. And it's a demonstration that people are willing to pay, enough so for that product to sustain lucrative businesses across many niches. So don't use the shining successes in your dream field as proof that you can't do it. Use them as proof that you can do it. You don't even have to be the first one. They've already started charting the path. Way number 3 to think about doing something risky in your career. Understand your worst case scenario on both sides. A lot of people evaluate their options just by looking at the chance of failure. They'll basically say, well, doing my own thing has a higher chance of failure and staying on the stable path has a lower chance of failure, so I should just stay on the stable path. And yes, failure seems embarrassing and scary, and so a lot of people just instinctively want to avoid it. But what actually happens if you fail? And what actually happens if you don't try? I asked myself this question before starting my business, and these were my answers. If I failed, I would go get another corporate job, and my corporate career progression would be slowed down by a year or 2. If I didn't try, I would lose the optimal financial window to take a risk. I had no kids, no mortgage. I was living in my parents' house during COVID. There was no better time for me to take a career risk. And if I didn't try, on my deathbed, I would really regret it. I wanted to be some kind of independent writer and creator for my entire life. Deathbed Pooja would be furious at me if I didn't even give it a shot. So yes, doing something on the risky path often involves fear and uncertainty and embarrassment and putting yourself out there in a way that seems terrifying. And you can absolutely decide that you don't want those emotional experiences and opt out. But emotional experiences are different from concrete consequences. So don't conflate the two. Give yourself a chance to look at the concrete consequences of failing and of not trying, and then decide which emotional experiences you are willing to sign up for. Both paths have their own flavor of discomfort. No path is perfect. But looking at the concrete consequences can help you decide which flavor of discomfort is worth it to you. And way number 4 of thinking about whether or not to do something risky in your career. Get to 50% certainty and then test the hypothesis. So you might realize you have a healthy chance of succeeding and that proof of concept of success already exists in the world, and that your worst case scenario, if you try, isn't even that bad, and still not have 100% certainty that you want to do this. And that is incredibly normal. There's so much that you don't know at this point that it would almost be weird if you did have 100% certainty. I did this full analysis a couple of years ago. I checked the box on all 3 of the things I've already talked about, and I still only had maybe 50% certainty that I wanted to be a coach. I wasn't fired up with conviction and inspiration. It was literally just felt like a coin flip, just a maybe. When you reach this point, stop thinking, stop researching, and stop theorizing. You're going to talk yourself in circles and only get more and more confused. once you've cleared the 3 hurdles that I talked about, and you're feeling this 50-50 sense of certainty that this could be the right path, set a timeline and test the hypothesis through doing, not thinking. So this could mean that you hack together a low-tech version of your product and go get 10 users. Or you make a pitch deck and you do 5 meetings with VCs. Or you write a short story and you submit it to 5 magazines. You go do 5 gigs as a musician. You do 1 freelance project for free or at low cost. For me, this is when I signed up for a coach certification, and I spent 6 months coaching my peers in the program. I only had 50% certainty I wanted to be a coach, but it was a viable enough hypothesis that I was willing to test it by getting started. So if you're thinking of doing something risky or unconventional as your next career step, I know that you want to make the most thoughtful decision possible. And I'm here to support you however I can. You can work with me one-on-one over the course of a full coaching package. We have dedicated time set aside every week to figure out the answers to all these questions. You'll also have structure and accountability to ensure that you make steady progress and a space to problem solve as you gather more data and troubleshoot your path to success. You can do it on your own. You are 100% capable. It's just way faster and easier when you have structured support. So go to the link above and book a free coaching consult. Or if you're not ready for a full-on coaching package just yet, drop by for some free public coaching. Bring whatever problem is currently on your mind, whatever's gotten you stuck. We'll talk it out, we'll troubleshoot, we'll problem solve, and we'll get you unstuck in 60 minutes or less. So go to the link above and book a free public coaching call.